Valerie.
Hello. Hello.
How are
I'm
you?
sorry, I'm in bed. I'm doing great in
I know,
yourself.
darling. Do you know, like you're only a little smidgy, you're only about this big on the screen. So don't worry if you don't have your lips on or your hair done or anything like that.
Oh, thank you. How are you today?
I'm very, very well. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thank you for asking.
Awesome, awesome. Do you have a particular question that you'd like me to tune into, or would you just like for me to channel somebody who's crossed over for you, or what would you prefer?
Yes, if you could channel someone that has crossed over for me, that'll be great.
Okay, awesome. Just give me a little moment. I'll just
Okay.
tune in a little bit.
Okay.
Straight off the bat, I see what I would say is a father figure. Has your father crossed over?
Yes.
Okay, that's the first person who's stepping forward. He's so, so, so excited to be able to have a chat with you. And I feel like his personality is pretty bubbly and he's smiley. Does that
Yes.
resonate with you? Yes. And I
Yes.
and I see him usually when I see someone they're reasonably still and they show me things where I sort of feel he's sort of jumping around like, hey, this is awesome.
Awesome. Awesome.
All right, so let me just tune into what he's trying to put through to me. Just give me a little moment. Are you having a couple of issues with some finances, darling?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
He sees that, and I'm feeling very emotional about it. I'm feeling that it can bring you to tears. Um,
Yes.
and he's showing me that in the moments where you're so overwhelmed and that you're crying, he's right there with you and he's stroking your face. And he's
Oh,
trying to really send as much love as he can over to you and make you feel, I'm here, Valerie. I'm here and I hear you. And don't look, I'm an empath, so don't be surprised if I burst into tears. I try not to. I try to keep my composure, but sometimes they send so much love across that it fills me up. He's saying to me to be patient with this situation. I'm seeing, I don't know whether there's some, he's either showing me bills that are mounting. Does that sound right to you?
yes.
Okay. So he's showing me bills that are mounting. Um, and I kind of feel that you're popping them to the side occasionally and going, I'm not going to look at this. I'm just not going to look at this. But I feel that if you made a couple of phone calls, if you called and if you gathered all those bills and you called these, like, say for example, if it's an electricity company or something to that effect, I feel that if you called and you put forth your situation, that you could set something up for yourself. I don't feel that you don't have enough money to pay these things.
Mhm.
I feel, Valerie, that it's more, it is a lot, and if everything was to be paid right on the spot, then yes, you would have no money. Well, not no money, but you'd have very little left. But I want what I
Exactly.
yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see you spread that out and sort of put
Mhm.
yourself so when you spread these bills out, call these companies and say, this is my situation, this is what I can do, and set up some sort of payment plan for yourself. And I want, when you do that, to set up a payment plan for the future as well. So for example, future bills are coming in. If you can say to them, hey, listen, I want to pay $50 a month if I could, please. And so as your income comes in, it's already been distributed to these bills beforehand. My strong feeling, and I kind of really want to emphasize this to you, is you do have enough to cover this. You do. It's about planning and about getting organized and not worrying. Don't just let them pile up. Don't do that. be proactive about it. There's a
Okay.
job situation. Excuse me, it's winter here, so I've got a bit of a tickle in my throat. It's not winter over there, is it?
No, no, it's warm and sunny.
Yeah. Is there a, I'm trying to work out, did someone just lose a job? Or did someone change jobs just recently? What was that?
Yes, that was my husband. Well, kind of just lost the job. The decision is tomorrow whether or not he is able to keep it. So
Right.
yes, tomorrow's big day.
I feel that job is, I feel that he's outgrown that position. I feel that he wants so much more, and that's not fulfilling it.
Mhm.
And I feel like it's been interrupted on purpose. Okay, it's a bump in
Thank
the
you.
road.
Oh my God. Thank you for the clarification. It was like the way things fell. It was like we cannot worry. Like this is part of divine timing. Oh my God.
Exactly. It's because he shouldn't be there anymore, and for himself he needs to move somewhere else. And I feel that there's a job coming up very shortly. Do not panic. Do not send that energy off into the universe. I want you to center yourself. I want you to recognize that things are happening for you. Okay, does that make sense? Do not worry
Yes.
about that. There's good.
Yes.
I'm so pleased that you've heard that, and that's settled with you. What's Dad showing me? I see he's showing me something. You're holding something and you're praying. Um, could it be like, I don't know, some sort of, what are you holding? It's an icon or a statue or a I don't know, but you're holding something and you're praying.
I'm an intuitive psychic medium as well.
There you go.
And I hold my crystals and I
Yes,
hold my cards.
yes. I didn't want to say crystals because I thought she's going to think I'm wacky. I'm seeing you holding a
No.
crystal. I'm seeing you holding a crystal and you're praying. And is it one of these?
Yes, it is. It's the one.
This is what I
Oh my
saw.
God.
And I went, no, she's going to think I'm nuts. I've got my crystals in the car. So crazy. So Dad is in that moment. That's what Dad's saying to me. Dad's saying to me that in that moment, he's there. He's there with you.
And I feels him. And if I
Yeah.
wasn't for sure, like, wow, amazing.
Do you have another question for me?
Is he proud of me and have I made the right decisions in what I'm currently doing with my life?
Okay. One thing that I don't even have to ask him is that he's definitely proud of you. And I'll tell you, as a psychic medium, you should know this. They see things from all angles. They see how you think. They see your perceptions. They see how other people think, and they see the way your mind is working. So I don't even have to ask him. He's definitely proud of you, because I feel that you are the type of person who always wants to do the right thing. And if you come from a place of always doing the right thing, there is no question. You should be proud of yourself that you're always doing the right thing. I feel that, is there something going on with one of the kids at school?
It's one getting ready to go to college, but we trying to decide because of the finances at this time.
Okay. I feel that
My little one has problems though.
okay.
She is 4, but she may have abilities, so she was seeing some things at school, but other than that, I'm not for sure.
Okay. So I was more in reference to the little one, but I do want to address the older one going to college. There is going to be some delay in that. However, that is also going to go ahead. Do not panic. Just put your focus in prayer and be very specific. Don't, when we pray, I'm not going to instruct you how to pray, but in terms of creating what you want, be very specific. I would like to see this. I would like to see this. Could you help me with this? Be very specific in your prayer so that it's very clear the message that you put out into the universe. There
Okay.
is a slight delay with that. So college, is that next year?
In August, in a couple of weeks.
Okay.
She
Is it
she's supposed to go
possible?
in a couple of weeks.
Okay, because this is what I'm seeing, and you work with me here on this one. Is it possible that there is like a second intake, or if you don't go in October or whatever, is there an opportunity to go like
Yes.
in
Yes.
January or
It's
something
in
to that effect?
October. Yes.
Okay. So I feel like that initial intake isn't going to happen, and that
Hmm.
the second intake is what's going to happen, and by then your finances will be more sorted. Your husband will be in a position where there's more finances coming into the family. I just wanted to draw attention to your little one. I feel that there are things that she may be perceiving, that she doesn't have the words to communicate. So for
Hmm.
me, words, not necessarily seeing, but feeling, that she doesn't have the words to communicate. So it's like I want to say something, but I just don't have the words to say them, but I really want to get that message out. Um,
Hmm.
does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so
Yes. I mean,
um,
she's very expressive though, but so it's like, but I kind of understand what you're saying though.
it's so abstract. So for me, as a medium, I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I talk to them about all things psychic. I try not to censor myself too much, and they're really receptive. So you don't have to worry about censoring. You're basically setting this person up to go, okay, this is all normal. Mummy understands. Um, and just keep talking to her about it. That's all.
And I have, so I'm doing it
Perfect.
right. I have been doing that because she talks to me about a third eye. The child, I don't discuss my readings around her. She
Right.
comes to me. She put her hands over me when I'm feeling bad,
Oh my
and her
God.
vocabulary is just, and she sees things, and
Yes.
she sees the dead for who they are, where
Yes.
I don't see them
I'm
for who
getting
they are
goosebumps.
as of right now.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting goosebumps everywhere. Um, and you know
So
what's
it
going to
is
happen?
true.
I don't think that was something that was necessarily shown to you when you were little. So you sort of had to develop it on your own. You sort of had to bump into it. Oh, I'm seeing this and I'm feeling this. Whereas if you were sort of looked after it, not looked after, but nurtured, and none of this was sort of like, oh, that's just your imagination, darling. If that was looked after and nurtured and prompted, and hey, what are you thinking now, or what are you feeling now, and everything was okay, you would be in a different spot. So that's the same thing with your daughter. Just everything's cool, everything's fine, let's nurture this. And all children have this ability, but she's very aware of
Hmm.
it. So
Okay.
keep doing
Okay.
that for her. I think
Okay.
this in this period of time in your life, things are coming. There's a fork in the road, but it's because you need to take a sudden change in direction for all of you. So don't be
Yes.
afraid of it. Don't let it overwhelm you. Just recognize that, hey, this is the universe going on. We need to change directions, and we need to do it really, really fast. And just settle with that
Okay.
and be very specific with um, what you want. So put it out there. I also see your little one. I sort of brushed the thought aside before, but it's coming back to me. Your little one, when she gets older and she starts writing, I feel that she'll be doing some writing. I feel that she'll be, I don't know if she'll be doing some psychic writing, but I feel that she'll be doing some writing. Um, I don't know whether that's going to be channeled writing, but definitely writing. She's a writer for sure.
Awesome, awesome. This has been amazing. I can take it from the bottom of my heart. Thank you. But I also want to tell you that I was scrolling and I wasn't going to click in, and I heard Spirit say, "Click in. She's going to select you."
Hmm.
So again, everything happened for a reason, and I thank you so
Absolutely.
much. I needed to hear that from my father. Thank you.
You're very
Thank
welcome.
you.
there's a lot of love for you in the spirit world, but Dad's very dominant. He's like, no, I need to speak to my daughter. And so, and is everybody step aside. You've got grandparents here. There's a lot of love. So I just want you, keep talking to them, keep talking to him, keep praying. You're doing all the right things, and you recognize when something is divine timing. So don't second guess yourself. You know, just sit with it and go, okay. I'm going to trust in you. Not everything is going to be perfect all of the time. And sometimes big bumps in the road really just mean we're taking a change of direction. And that's what's going on for you, Valerie.
Okay. Thank you so much. God bless you. You are amazing. A beautiful soul.
God bless you.
Thank you.
I don't know how to take you off the call. I'm just going to press some buttons and see what happens.
Okay. Bye.
Bye. Oh, she was adorable. All right, let's see who else wants to have a little chat. Who have I got here? Going through to you, sweetheart. Just waiting on Sharon. Just wanted to give a bit of a shout out. Hey guys. Hey Sharon.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
How are you feeling about being placed on the screen like that?
I'm a little camera shy.
Oh, don't worry. As I was saying to Valerie, it's this small, so you don't have to worry. All right. So, do you have a particular question for me?
Yeah, my brother passed last August. He was homeless.
Don't tell me too. Don't tell me too much. Don't tell me too much.
Okay.
So. Let me just let me just try to tune into your energy a little bit. Okay. Was there some sort of, was he an addict of some sort?
Yes.
Because I'm feeling, as I'm tuning into his energy, again, forgive me, as an empath, I receive information, I receive energy in the sense of feelings. So I'm actually pretty overwhelmed. Did he overdose, my love?
That's what they say he did.
Yeah. I feel towards the end there, he had given up.
Yeah.
And he suffered. See, my whole entire body is getting really, really warm. And so he really suffered when he wasn't taking something, and I kind of see him just take anything he can get his hands on. And yeah, this is the first thing he wants you to know is that he's happy. He is so happy and so free. It's a freedom that he only felt in childhood. And it's like he just really wants you to know how free. Oh, I'm seeing him and he's like, I don't know whether he had issues moving his arms and his legs to a degree, but he's showing me like, look, I can move this. Yeah, so he is very, very sweet and he's very, very kind. And I'm trying to sort of shuffle the energy that he's showing me of what he was before he passed, just to get to the essence of him, because sometimes with addiction, it can sort of feel, look, other people may have perceived him in a different way, but really at the core of his being, he was actually a really, really good person.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have 2 children? I'm getting reference to 2 children.
I have 3.
You have 3. Is one older and then 2 are younger?
They're, yeah. I mean, I have 3 kids. They're all about 9 years apart.
Okay. Because I'm getting reference to the 2 youngest. Did he have the most to do with them?
Yes, my 2 older ones. My younger one, no.
Okay,
My youngest one, no.
I'm also having problems with my speech, and I'm wondering whether he did he suffer a stroke at any point?
That I don't know.
Because I'm trying to speak to you and I feel like I'm really lagging with my speech. Maybe it was while he was on drugs. I feel there was some distance towards the end there between the 2 of you. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And I feel like the last time that you saw him, he had taken something, and possibly that's why my speech is lagging, because that's how you saw him.
Yeah, I always saw him that way.
Okay. And that's kind of what he's showing me, that when he was that when you saw him, he just really was just, that's okay. That's what he was just sort of like in that mumbly, not really even present. And he's telling me that you made the right choice. And this is a really hard thing for you to hear, but you made the right choice. You made the right decision in pulling away like that.
Okay.
He's also telling me that you're ridiculously strong and that you don't really like to show your emotions too much.
Correct.
But I want you to, in a quiet moment, to sit and allow yourself to feel, because that's getting bottled up. And that's getting bottled up, and it's building, and it spews over into anger, and it spews over into frustration, and people who are at the receiving end of that don't quite know that what's actually happening with you is actually that you're so overwhelmed. And I really want to say to you, please, I want you to cry. I just want you to sit and cry and release it. That's a release. So allow yourself, when there's no one around, to sit and have that cry, so that it doesn't keep piling up and piling up and piling up. And then so later on it manifests into anger. And I see you yelling when you just don't want to be yelling. And I see that you're having this conversation with yourself. Stop yelling. Don't do that. Stop doing that. Stop. But
I
you
do
can't.
that.
Yes, but you can't. And it just comes from a place of, you are a really, really beautiful person, but because you're not allowing yourself, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. That's what I see you do. No, everything's fine. And you sort of bottle it up. And then because it's spewing out, and it's sort of like a little contrast. At the time that you're angry, the anger's just coming out, and it's a force. But then there's this quiet inside of you who's a really nice, kind, gentle person who's like, stop it, stop it. And you can't stop it. So you actually need to get to that beforehand. You need to get rid of those emotions beforehand. You need to address those feelings beforehand. Are you married?
I am.
Okay, I feel that I want you to sit more and discuss your feelings more with your husband. I want you to let him know more, and know that your feelings are safe, and know that he understands you. And even those ugly, nitty-gritty feelings that you have are safe.
Okay.
So that's also a way for you to release. So sit with him and say, look, I need to throw this at you. I'm feeling like this, or this is overwhelming me, or whatever it is. And that's also a way to release. And it's also a way for you to bridge some of that distance, that emotional distance that you may be experiencing, which doesn't have to be there.
Okay.
Does that make sense? In you
It does.
opening up. Yeah. So in you opening up, it allows him to go, oh, all right, we're doing this now. So later on down the track, it's going to take him a little bit more. He might say to you, hey, I've been feeling something as well. And you might be like, what? You felt something? So by you opening up and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, it allows him later on to go, well, babe, apparently this is an option now. I'm going to tell you how I feel. And that'll bridge some of that gap. And I find that this is actually quite a normal gap in a relationship that's been going on for quite a while. We get very comfortable and comfortable for being ourselves. And that's beautiful. But you still have this person here who's absolutely there for you 100%, who you're not actually utilizing. So it's like having this awesome pizza, but you're going, I'm not going to eat it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's a silly analogy, but it's like he's right there and he's ready to listen. So that emotional gap can be closed just by expressing your feelings. Does that make sense?
It does. We're both dominant, though.
That's okay. That's okay, because dominant people are going to want to be heard. So something that I do with my husband is I say, okay, I'm going to let you speak until you have absolutely nothing else to say. And I will sit and I will shut my mouth, which is really hard for me to do.
Yeah.
So I sit there. I sit there and I say, you're talking and you tell me absolutely everything. So when he finishes talking and I'm biting my tongue the entire way, that's when I'll go, okay, it's now my turn to talk. So sometimes that'll work with a dominant person. So my husband isn't dominant necessarily, but I am. So I have to go to myself, you need to give him the floor now.
Yeah.
So it's just opening those lines of communication that'll just lead to just that bond that you used to experience, because it's still there. It's just it's not being talked about.
Yeah. That does make sense.
Good. Do you have another question for me, my darling?
Yes. Anything on the job front? I quit my job like 2 months ago. Kind of like sacrificed myself to get rid of another person. That's what I do. I like helping people. Okay.
Why would you throw yourself in the fire?
Because I'm blessed. My husband, makes good money, and it was the job I was working for was about helping people, and it wasn't about the money. I just wanted to help people.
I don't know why I'm being shown cards like angel cards or oracle cards or tarot cards. Does that relate to does that relate to you at all?
I mean, I actually was looking at cards at the bookstore. Was going to purchase some oracle
for
cards,
yourself?
angel cards for myself.
For yourself. Were you thinking about doing some readings or something?
To practice. I used to do it when I was younger.
Okay. I don't know why that's come in on the job front, because I don't know. I do want you to get those cards and I do want you to practice, but I do want to say to you one thing. With those cards, when you open them, ask a very specific question. Look at those cards, then put them away, and don't obsessively go get them tomorrow and then the day after and the day after, because I see you possibly getting into a bit of a loop. Yeah, don't do that. So open the cards, read them, read it for what it is, interpret it the way it's meant to be interpreted, use your intuition, then put them back together and put them aside, and you will know when the next time is to look at them. So don't get into this obsessive loop. But I do want you to practice that, because I think you've got a bit of a gift there that you're not tapping into.
Yeah, I used to when I was younger, but then when I got pregnant with my firstborn, I stopped it.
Okay. To be honest with you, now that I'm delving a little bit more into that, I do see you doing some work like that. Is it an option for you to stay home and
yes.
not necessarily to go off to work?
Yeah, I can stay home if I want.
Because look, you can change your path at any moment by just choosing a different thought. But for the current trajectory that you're on, I see you staying at home and quite quickly using those cards and doing the odd reading here and there. That's what I see. That's the path that I see you on at the moment. But now that you've heard that information, you may go to yourself, I don't like that. And so therefore you choose a different thought, which will create a different path. But that path actually sits quite nicely as a feeling for you. I actually really enjoy that, because I also feel that you just need a little bit of downtime. I feel like you need a bit of quiet time and that you haven't been getting that.
Yeah, I'm a workaholic. I was a workaholic.
Yeah. So I even if it's just for a little while, just for the couple of months, I just want to see you just simmer down a little bit and get back to you and what do you like and who do you want to see and what do you want to get involved in. Just a little bit of you time. And if you have that luxury that your husband's covering the expenses of the household, I would encourage you to do it.
Yeah.
I'm
just independent.
That's okay. You can be independently awesome at home just sipping a cup of coffee.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else to ask me?
Regarding my youngest, do you see anything for him? I mean, he's been having trouble in school.
I was going to say to you, I see him having fights. How old is he?
He's 12.
He's 12. Has he been getting into physical altercations? Not like punching the crap out of anybody, but has he been getting into physical altercations?
Well, he was, not him personally, because he was brought up right, but other children, and now he's out of that school. I have him in another school.
Okay.
He's getting along with everybody.
Okay, so they were picking on him.
Yes.
I also felt like in that other school he was not with the great crowd.
He really had no real good friends. It's a rough school he was in.
So have you taken, is his new school a little bit of a distance? It's sort of not around the corner anymore.
It's about the same distance, just the opposite way.
I see him struggling a little bit to concentrate in terms of study. I see him quite distracted, and I sort of also see him, he feels a little bit alone in that school. I do feel that the teachers there are trying to help him integrate, and it's going to take a little bit of time. But would you say that he was a quiet sort of child?
Yeah,
a little bit more withdrawn. And that's the sort of thing that because he's quiet and he's kind of new to the school, it's going to take him a little while to bridge that gap and create better friends. I sort of see him there, see him just in his mind, he's quite lonely at school. So I would encourage you to have a bit of a conversation with him about what might seem to you as pretty straightforward in terms of how to get to know people, but to him, it's not instinctive. So I would sort of go, hey, you could sort of bring it right down to basics. Sort of instruct, how can I put this? How he could breach the topic of, hey, how you doing? Want to be friends kind of thing. So that conversation needs to be had. It's not going to be something that's automatically done. but it's definitely something that he can do over a period of time. He's going to do a little practice, and he's going to see that it gets an okay response, and then he's going to do another little practice, and then he's going to see he gets another. So he's going to test it out, but he does need for you to give him that the prompting, the mental, the cognitive prompting of what to say to build some friendships. And it's just because he didn't start with all the kids at the same time. He's just sort of found himself there now. And that he's just quiet, and that's his personality.
Yeah, he's like me.
Yeah, you're quiet. No. Oh dear. I think he's going to be all right. Is he having issues with his eyesight?
He wears glasses. So.
Okay. Have you had those changed just recently at all?
He actually has a doctor's appointment next week for it.
Okay, because I feel that they need to be changed. Okay. He's not seeing as well as he could. So I'm super happy that you're taking him next week to get that sorted. Has he been experiencing headaches?
He complains sometimes, like when he was in school, but I was accounting that to being picked on. Like he was like physically making himself sick.
That's a separate element, but these glasses, the fact that he needs different ones, are actually causing him headaches.
Okay.
So that should get alleviated with it. He worries a lot and he stresses a lot, and he's particularly self-conscious.
Yes.
So what he wears, what he's wearing to school is really important to him. And I would encourage you to, just for him and for him to settle a little bit. Do they have a uniform? Is it a uniform school?
It used to, the old school was uniform. The new school isn't.
Yes,
so I
that's what I'm feeling. Yeah. So I want him. I kind of feel like his clothes are really, really important because he is a shy, more reserved type. It sort of cocoons him. And if he's feeling like what he's wearing is cool, then he's going to be a little bit more relaxed. So that's something that's something that I want you to keep focus on, is that he really does need what he's wearing to be a certain way for him to feel a certain way.
Okay.
Okay.
Great.
Do you have any more questions, my love?
No, thank you so much. I'll be able to tell my mother about my brother, and she really blamed herself. So I told her it wasn't her fault. So
that's right.
But thank you so much. God bless you.
God bless you, oh my love. See you.
All right.
Bye, Sharon. All right, how are we doing for time? Okay, let's have another little look who I've got here. I just wanted to give the most awesome page in the world. I love you, and I love your work, and I love everything you stand for. Big shout out to Chrissy, Tara, and Roger, and all the moderators. You do such an amazing job. I'm going to go to, who have I got here? Diane Judson. I'm adding you on, sweetheart. Diane, I think Diane's doing her hair. There you go. How are you, darling?
Well,
I know.
Good.
You're not prepped for this. Trust me. I didn't have this makeup on when I woke up. I was like, okay, I'm live. I gotta do my eyeliner.
Your makeup is fabulous. I'm sitting here thinking you are gorgeous.
Oh, darling, I knew I picked you for a reason.
Well, thank you.
How are you?
So good. How are you? This is my first time, so thanks.
Oh, are you nervous?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you feel it?
I was nervous. I was nervous too, but now I'm good. I'm good. Do you have a particular
Okay.
question for me, Diane?
I would like some insight into love. I have a
Yeah.
particular guy in mind, but just some direction and what's going on with my ex. And
Okay. Do you have any kids with your ex?
I do have kids with my ex-husband, but that's not the man that I care about or wonder about.
Yes. So no, when you said about your ex, sometimes my brain will just get pulled in a particular direction, and sometimes
Uh-huh.
what you want to hear isn't necessarily what's going to come through. So let me just go with that first, because I'm really being drawn to talk about the kids. Are there two?
2 kids, yeah.
And just give me a moment. I'm just sort of delving into that energy. Is your ex a pretty large guy? Not overweight necessarily, just really tall. I just
Yeah,
see him as big.
yeah,
He's
he's
big.
6'5", yeah.
Yeah, it's really tall. Um, Forgive me. I know you don't want to talk about him. He's like, he's gone. It's over.
I don't. I don't. I want to talk about my most
I
recent
will.
ex.
I will get to that, but I want to talk about the
Okay.
kids. I kind of feel like the your kid's dad is kind of being a bit quiet. Does that sound right to you? Where is he? What's he
Yeah.
doing? Is he seeing them?
He hasn't been, and he's just starting to now. We're really trying to get a routine and a schedule. He moved
Yeah,
4 hours away, so.
yeah. That's what I want. So that's what I wanted to highlight. I want this thing set. This is going to happen on this date with this time, and set that in and lock it in, and that needs to happen. Or is it this weekend? I can't,
Yep.
because you have to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep.
And I'm saying this for the kids. He's not a bad guy. He's actually a good guy. But for the
Yeah.
kids, look at your face. Yeah, he's a good guy. But your
Yeah.
head's doing this. Your head's doing this.
Yeah.
Um, he is a good guy, and he does want to see the kids, but he really needs you to lock it in. This date on the calendar, I'm bringing them, or you're coming to get them, or whatever it is, and they're going to be at your front doorstep, so you better be dressed.
Well, you're spot on, because about 5 hours ago, I handed him a piece of paper with the school schedule for the year. And I
Yeah,
said, these are the days you're getting them. This is when
yeah,
I'll drive. This is when you'll drive. And he put it in his wallet and he said, okay, I'll look at it. But that's what I have to do with him. You're exactly right.
yeah. He's not going to look at it in his wallet. There needs to be something else. There needs to be some sort of ironclad signed something. Not I'm over the top with the signed thing, but he needs something. Here it is. Here's this information. You see this date. That's the date, and I'm coming. And don't sway from that. He needs that. Okay, so
Okay, good.
that piece of paper is okay, but I want something else. I don't know what you're going to do, but it needs to be locked in somehow.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Okay. All right, let me sort of dive into your love life here. You want to know about your recent ex? You want to know about your recent ex, or do you want to know about the new love interest?
Oh, well, is that the same person? Because he's coming back like a different person, but I don't know.
Okay, just give me a little minute.
Okay.
This is a bit random. I'm getting a gambling reference.
Okay.
Who would that be?
I don't know anybody, but I've been doing a lot of past life regression, and that resonates with my past life regression. But I don't know of anybody in my life right now.
Anybody who's crossed over, passed away, that was a gambler?
Not that I know of, but it's very likely that there could have
Okay.
been some.
It's just so strange. It's just a random reference.
I take a lot of risks that I shouldn't. It might be me.
Because this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing that when you open your purse or your wallet or whatever you call it, that you actually, there's often, like, you think there's money in there, but there's not. Oh, did I spend it all? Kind of thing. And I feel like money just comes out, just goes flying everywhere. Like, you know, where's this all going?
Yeah.
I don't know if that's got anything to do with your past life. These are my beliefs, and these are my beliefs. But I feel that when you are in this life, you start the slate from the beginning. It's a clear slate, and anytime you do any past life regression stuff, I'm back.
Okay.
So anytime you do any past life regression stuff, you could potentially open yourself up to an idea that wouldn't have come into fruition into this life. So this is my perception. So if you've done any past life regression stuff where it's come up that you used to be a gambler and you've placed enough attention on it in with your mind today, that you could be creating losing money just because you've drawn attention to this past life stuff. So I would stop putting any emphasis on that. And start concentrating on the here and now. I constantly see your what do you call it? Purse, wallet? What are you calling it?
Wallet. Yeah, wallet.
Your wallet. Sorry. In Australia, so girls in Australia have a purse and men have a wallet. Okay. So a purse, I think, is a handbag. Is that right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I constantly see your wallet. In my mind's eye, I'm opening it and it's empty. It's constantly empty, but there is no reason for it to be empty.
Okay.
Do you get what I'm saying? So
yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
In other words, I just want you to watch what you're spending things on. I'm also seeing you, and I know this is not what you're talking about, but this is where I'm being drawn because I think these things will make a big difference in your life. And when things make a difference in your life, it'll raise your vibrational frequency and it'll draw the things that you want. And one of those things is relationship. Okay. So I think if we start from the core, and that is kids are all good, everything's great with the kids, the finances are good, then you start to feel a little bit more relaxed. Yeah.
Those are my two issues. That's my two issues. My kids, my kids don't go with their dad enough, so it's hard for me to have that social life and to date. And then my most recent ex, Matt, that I want to talk about, we both, had money issues. So, we're trying to be responsible and get our money in order.
Well, that's the thing. That's the key word right there, responsible. Because I actually see you going, oh, look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. Do I have $20? Yes, I do. I'm buying it. And I start being responsible a little bit with that and actually watch where your money goes. I'm not saying for you not to buy certain things, but I want you to watch, just sort of stop for a minute and go, I really don't need this little knick-knack. It's fine. I can, and then watch where you, like, I just want you to watch, be conscious of where your money's going so that your wallet's not always empty.
Yes, that resonates 100%.
Okay, let me have a little look at Matt. How long have you guys been together?
We started dating back in May, and then we recently took a break, and now I was trying to be over him, and then he just reached out again, so he's driving me crazy.
Was he the one that called it off initially?
Yeah.
Mm. I kind of feel he's a little bit cheeky. And I kind of feel he's a little bit selfish in the sense where if I was going to be dating you, I would think to myself, this person has children and requires stability. So I would be quite mindful of that and respectful of that. I feel that, not that he's disrespectful, but I do feel as if he's not being mindful of that.
Mm-hmm.
Look, I mean, he's back and it's back on. But I don't see it working out, and I see you pulling the pin.
Okay.
I see you pulling the pin because he just doesn't meet your needs. He doesn't, I also feel like he's a homebody. He doesn't really want to go out anywhere, whereas you want to get out. And that's all well and good, but I feel like you've got so much life within you and so much things that you want to experience and see, and he's just not doing that. And I actually want to address here a little bit about what you allow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So for you, I actually see someone, because you actually need to, in your mind, grow a little bit. And not grow as in get smarter, but grow as in feel and understand that you deserve something very particular, and then go for that, and don't take anything less. He's not a bad person, and I'm not saying that in any way, shape, or form. However, I feel that you are just such a wonderful human being and so giving, and he's a receiver. And if there's too much giving from one person and too much receiving from the other person, there's an out of balance. And at some point in a long enough timeline, you're going to get fed up with that. And you're going to go, all right, so the cutesy fun part's over. And now here we are with the nitty gritty of things. And I can see by your face, you don't like what I'm saying.
Okay. Well, you said there was a new love, so maybe we should just talk about that.
I feel that after this guy, there's a bit of a process that needs to happen with this guy, and he's around for a reason, and he's around for you to be able to go, okay, so I see you here, and I see that this time you're not going anywhere, but I'm actually saying, I don't think this works for me because you're not giving me what I want. And the biggest thing for you is you're not saying what you want. You're not going, I need this, and I need this, and I also need this. And you're not even giving him the opportunity to give it to you. So start speaking up. You need to start speaking up. I enjoy this. I don't want to stay at home and watch TV. I want to go out. And he's going to say, but I don't want to. And you're going to say, but I want to. So, explain to him, and don't be afraid to put your foot down and say, these are my requirements in a relationship. These are my requirements, and for you to be lucky enough to be with me, you need to be able to come to the table with some of these things. He's not going to be able to do everything, but he's going to at least try and show you that he's trying. So for you, what this relationship is about learning that I am a valued, beautiful human being, and I need things because I'm going to give you a whole lot, but I need you to give back to me. Otherwise, I'm sorry, this isn't going to work for us. And so I want you to put your foot down, and you'll start seeing that he's a little bit emotionally immature, and in that immaturity, he becomes very selfish. And so therefore, he can't really see why he should give you everything you need. But I want this. That's his idea. I want this. So your job here is to go, I need this and this and this, and these are mandatory for me. There are certain things that I absolutely have to have. And if he's not fulfilling that, then it's your job for you and everybody who's watching you and I mean your kids are watching you and how you are and what you allow within a relationship. So everybody who's watching you, and for you, you need to put your foot down and go, okay, well, I appreciate that you can't do this for me, but you also must appreciate that because this need can't be fulfilled, then I'm sorry, this isn't going to work out for us. So from this moment, I need you to go, look, if you're coming back, mate, I need this, 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 and this. So, and these two things or these three things are mandatory. I have to have them. Otherwise, it's just not going to fulfill me.
Right. I mean,
Does that make
spot
sense?
on. Yes, 100%. So I do feel like he's a lesson, and he's a repeat of a lot of old patterns, but in a new light, and like it feels a lot healthier. But in the back of my head, it's like some of these are like old patterns, like some of these things, like we should be further ahead. And so in the time that we've not been together, I met a man. Like, just, he was here on military, because we live in a military town. He was here just for the week, and he took me out and wined and dined me, and just, he raised my vibration so high. Like, it was like, wow, I'm worthy. Like, I'm worthy. But, you know, I knew he was leaving, and it was what it was. But, you know, like, he just made me feel so good. Like, he made me have a standard. And then now here comes Matt back again.
Do you think that was an accident?
No, not at all. It was
not
divine
in the
timing.
So you've got this guy that you saw for the weekend, and then here's poor old Matt. And how are you going to bridge that gap? The only way you're going to bridge it, if it's going to be bridged, is by you insisting that you come up even just to here. Do you know what I mean? That gap, that's what you want, then that's what you need to say yes to. And everything else that doesn't fit for you, then you say no. If somebody's a homebody, they need to go find another homebody where they're happy being at home watching TV. But if that's not you, and you need to go out, or you need to have certain experiences, then you need to put your foot down.
Okay. Beautiful. Spot on. You're amazing. Thank you.
You're amazing. All right, darling. Have a great night.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.